Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over Joe Biden's COVID-19 approval rating and approval rating in general. So first of all, let's just look at a few of these pro-Trump swing states, specifically Iowa, Ohio, and a few other states. So if we go over here, we're going to go over to jacksonjew.com. We're going to check the margin of victory in these states. And we're going to go over the approval rating currently in these states because it has changed. So, look at this right now. We're going to go to Iowa. .1%. And Ohio, so about 8%, but we want to see the exact number, so 8.8, exactly 8%. So just keep those numbers in your head. 8.1 for Iowa and 8 for Ohio. Now, if we look at the approval rating currently, if you go to Ohio and Biden's approval rating in Ohio, this is according to 538. All polls in Ohio, you look at Biden and Trump. So let's just look at the research code. Just look at this. 47-47, and here it's 45-49. So Trump still has a lead of 4%, but 4% compared to 8%. So that's Joe Biden's approval rating rising 4%, and Trump's dropping 4%. Here, Joe Biden is in a lead by 4%. So same thing there, which is a huge increase. Joe Biden lost by 8%. Now he's winning by 4%. That's a 12% shift to the left, according to a few universities. Now, some of them, all of the polls here are placing Joe Biden, or are placing Ohio more than 8 points, less than 8 points to Donald Trump, or even to a few points to Joe Biden. Here, Trump is in the lead by 5 points, here by 3 points, here by 2 points, here by also 5 points, 2 points, 3 points, and 2 points. So all of these are just showing that Ohio has shifted to the left since Trump leaving office. And this is as of March. So, let's look at a few other states. It's not just Ohio. But before we do that, we're going to pull out an election map. So, okay, so we'll do this. Hold on. Okay, so let's look at Iowa, which has 6 electoral votes, and Ohio 18, but it is going to go up down to 17 in 2024, according to the census. But if we go over to Iowa, it should be here somewhere. There we go. Iowa. Let's see. So it puts Joe Biden ahead by 1%. One of the polls, okay, this is a tie. Here, Trump is ahead by 2%, while Trump won it by 8.1%, so about 8%. No poll here is suggesting that Trump won it by 8%, and no poll here is saying that Trump has a significant lead of more than 8%. So Ohio and Iowa have shifted to the left significant numbers. Obviously, I'm not going to go over the numbers because every poll has sort of a different number. But some polls are going to say 5%, some polls are going to say 3% or 4%. But we do know that whatever these polls are saying, every poll is different. These polls all have Joe Biden ahead. Well, in the lead by a margin. not 8%. It doesn't see Trump is in the lead by 8%. The most Trump is in the lead by is 3%. And Biden does have, some 5%. So, let's just go over to a 270 map of 2024. We're going to use a 2024 map because this is the map we're referencing. We're not going to be using the 2020 map anymore. So, first, let's start off with the 2020 map. I want to go over the 2020 election. So this is the 2020 election. Democrats carried one in Nebraska, and Republicans carried one in Maine. But whatever happens, it's a still significant margin lead for Democrats, who are doing a lot better by these races. So, let's just say if Democrats potentially flip Iowa and Ohio, now they're up. So, let's look at a few other states. So, these states have shifted to the left significantly from an 8-point margin, which is actually likely, down to 2-point margin, which is leans. And some are saying it's a tilt margin or lean margin for Joe Biden. Some polls are even considering Ohio, not Iowa. Ohio a likely margin for Joe Biden, more than 5%. So let's look at a few other states. So if we look out of Iowa and we look at how Florida shifts. Florida. Also, Biden a significant lead. So Trump won Florida. We look at the numbers of Florida, we know the numbers. But, it's always good to reference. We always want to know the exact number because click on this, we're going to go down. Check this out, 3.4%. Okay, so that is a leans margin, obviously. More than 1% is considered a leans margin, and less than 5% is also considered a leans margin. So, if we go back to the polls in Florida, we realize that it puts Trump should be at 3.4%, 51%, and Joe Biden at 47. So 51 to 47. But let's see what the case is. Trump doesn't have a 51. Here's Trump is 48. Trump is 46. Trump is 43. None of these polls puts Trump at 51. Yep. None of these polls put Trump at 51%. And most of them are putting Joe Biden ahead of Donald Trump in Florida throughout the polls. So if we go back to this election map, well, maybe this is showing us that this 2024 election is not going to be, or in 2022 is not going to be, Republicans are going to take back the House and take back the Senate and take back the presidency in 2024. But I just don't see that because Texas is another one we're going to look at. So I'm just going to cross this out. This is what we see the map looking at right now. This is what we would see the map as. We're not identifying these swing states that are, predominantly shifting to the left. Okay, but whatever. If we look at this, Republicans need a lot more states than Democrats do. And we're seeing, okay, well, what if Democrats pick up Florida? That's a state they're already leading in. Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, and then they pick up a few more states. So we've already checked out lots of states I want to go over. But we're going to give Michigan to Democrats. Leave Ohio, these states blank. We're gonna give Michigan, New Hampshire to Democrats. Right, and that would give us so that would mean, well, Democrats are not at that victory point, but they're getting closer and closer. 235 electoral votes, Republicans at 125. So that means that we're going to see, according to now, well, what this is saying is Ohio is not going to be as close. It's going to be closer than we really think it is. Because we're not seeing an 8% margin of victory for Donald Trump. We're seeing a sort of really close one. Some polls saying 2%, some polls saying 30% for both Donald Trump and Joe Biden. But now the question is, whatever the margin is, who's going to win? And are these polls, well, these polls are, just currently, but they might change. So let's go ahead and look at the other states. So these polls are putting Ohio, these polls are showing us that Ohio and Iowa are going to be tilt margin states for the Republican Party. I don't think they're tilt margin states for the Democratic Party. I still think Republicans are going to take over in those states. In Florida, tilt margin state. But I do think these polls are, this is according to the polls. So we'll come back to, do I think these polls are correct? Another state, Maine. Most likely Republicans are going to carry. We don't need to go over Maine. It's a state that Republicans will carry. Joe Biden won Arizona. He won Nevada. Georgia is the only state that we're actually going to really focus on because I don't see Democrats picking up. Well, actually, I will leave Arizona blank. We're not even going to really go over Arizona because we know that Joe Biden won. And we're going to go over the polls, but we're not going to really talk about the election. Okay, so now let's move on to North Carolina, a state that will have 16 electoral votes. So 242 in 2020, it's 246. Republicans 182. 2024, it's going to stay the same. So let's go over to, polls. I thought I had them here. Okay, here we go. So let's leave Florida aside. Let's look at the state of Georgia. So there's Trafalgar. We're going to look at the elections. I don't know if it shows the elections, but mostly the Senate elections, because they're really going to determine. So Trafalgar put Warnock ahead of Left. Okay, that was obvious. And now here, Walker. So Walker is one of the potential candidates. Ahead, Trafalgar, again, putting Walker ahead of Warnock, and putting Warnock ahead of Collins. So Trafalgar Group here says Loeffler is doing better than Warnock. Now, I don't trust this at all. I usually like to look at these in the United States, and I do not like to use Trafalgar. Why? Well, because they put Kelly Loeffler at 50, and Warnock at 48. And they put Ossoff and Perdue a tie, and they're saying Loeffler is doing better than Perdue. That is obviously fake, and that is obviously not true, because that's not going to happen. If you look here, all these polls have Warnock and Ossoff doing better or a tie. Only, again, University of Nevada. That was a close one. But I just don't, the Trafalgar Group is not really going to work. So Biden approval nationwide is still pretty high. 55 to 41 here, 53 to 37. Here, this poll, 52 to 46. And Warren Consultant now puts 62 to 34. So we're looking at Georgia and we're saying, okay, well, Democratic Party is going to have a pickup in Georgia. Now, the Senate, the 2020 election in the Senate is going to really determine what happens in the election in 2024. So we're just waiting on that. But that does not mean I'm not going to tell you who wins Georgia, because right now I do think Georgia is a bye for the Republican Party. Okay. Texas. Okay, well, we're going to go over Texas. We're going to go over North Carolina now. So North Carolina. You look at North Carolina here. There it is, North Carolina. Okay, well, we're not going to go over, Trafalgar does not have a poll, which helps it, which sort of makes it, a lot easier to determine what happens. But let's look at, a few polls. Few polls are saying, okay, Biden. This poll says Biden. This poll says Biden. Biden has a significant lead in all the polls. But the question is, are these polls correct? Because it does put Cunningham above, and Cunningham did lose. So that is a state that I'm not going to even mention at all. And we know that whatever happens, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, Arizona we don't know. Everybody knows that North Carolina we don't know. We know that Wisconsin and Pennsylvania we don't know. And we know that Texas we're about to go over right now. So if you look at Texas, well, there's a reason I'm not going over Arizona and Pennsylvania and these states. Why? Well, because I just don't see an accurate, sort of, I just don't see that it being accurate. Because I really see, okay, Arizona's so close, 0.3%, that it's, some polls going to say Trump is ahead 0.3, and some polls going to say Biden is ahead 0.3. And these states are so close, so is Georgia, that I don't even know what to mention, because they're so close. Michigan, it's a pretty easily, to me, it's a Democratic win. So in Texas, most of the polls are reporting a still Trump win. And I still see, if we go to the electoral map, I still see Trump picking up Texas. Most states are a leans margin. There's no point to go over Wisconsin, 0.6%. Pennsylvania, 1%. North Carolina, 1.5%. Arizona, Georgia, Arizona, 0.3%. Georgia, 0.2%. Because these margins are so small, it will flip one way or the other. So that's it for this video, and I will keep you updated on the other 5 states, because we really don't have enough information to determine what's going to happen in the 2024 election, who's the candidate, who's running, and which candidate will do better for Republican side or Democratic side. But I do have more videos coming the rest of this week. I'm going to be mentioning top Democratic candidates and top Republican candidates. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, hit that bell button, and comment down below any suggestions or any more videos you'd like me to post. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll have another video tomorrow. Bye.